Hello students. So welcome to lecture 7 of arrays. So welcome to lecture 7 of arrays. Today we'll do some theory exercises. The questions which you can expect in section A can be of these types. So let's practice some questions, especially of section A type. Okay, you can see the questions written on the screen. Just take a notebook and your pen, pencil, whatever, and just go through them and write down whatever answers you get to understand in your notebook. I'll give you 2 minutes, or you can pause your video and try out all of them and then resume watching the other part of the video where we will be discussing all these answers. But I strongly advise you to try it on your own first and then check the discussion part and the answer. Okay, fine. Yes, so the first question is, create an array for storing marks of n students of a class. So when you read the question, you will know about the array type, what type of array we need to create. Yes, so with this you understand that these are marks. So you can decide upon the data type of the array, and then you have n is the size of the array. So with these information you can create an array. So the first answer will be marks, if it can be float, because sometimes you get marks in no points also, 99.5, like that. So it is better to take float. And storing marks, so you can take marks as the array name followed by square bracket is equal to new, the keyword for creating an array related to memory, and then the data type, that is float. And what is the array size here? It is n. So you have to use the same given size. So this will be the answer for your first bit. See, if you take int also, it is fine, but the most appropriate data type you have to decide and use. Okay. Then comes, let's try second one. Assign any 4 popular high-level languages to an array. Now, this is a very general question. So with this, you have to decide the data type of the array, the names of any 4 high-level languages. Yes, most of you must have got it right. The languages names. Assign. Here it is assign or initialize. If they ask you to assign or initialize, then you have to directly give the values. Okay. So here the data type is string. Whenever you're using string, S must be capital. And here you are using high level languages. So you can just give a name as high level languages and a square bracket, meaning it's an array variable. And here you will give the names of the 4 popular languages. You can just give this is string. So string constants are enclosed within double quotes. So you will be writing it like this. You can give Python, comma, Java is and will remain one of the popular language. That's all. And put a semicolon at the end. So this is how you will assign or initialize the elements of the strings. Okay. Then coming to the third bit, assign first 5 natural numbers to an array. Now all of you know the first 5 natural numbers. So accordingly, you have to create an array. Okay. Now, first 5 natural numbers, you can have the data type as byte, short, int, anything. Because right now we are not considering the memory part that seriously. So try to give appropriate data type. You can give byte as well, byte, natural numbers, and the first 5 the natural numbers start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you put a flower bracket and a semicolon. Instead of byte, you can even use short, you can even use int. The only difference is if you use byte, only 5 bytes of memory will be reserved. If you use short, 10 bytes will be reserved. If you use int, 4 into 5, 20 bytes will be reserved. Since the values you are using are very less, so that can be stored with byte also. So the only difference will be with respect to memory, which is not so seriously considered, but give integer type only. Do not give float or double in any case, because it is asking natural numbers. Okay. Then the fourth D bit, initialize an array with all the vowels of English alphabet in uppercase. Okay. Now vowels, there are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Now what is the data type of these? Yes, it is char. Therefore, you have to give char, and always when we write, we generally class also many people write like this, but then that's not the right way. You have to use it like this. It's a keyword, so no, it has to be very clearly written. So always use this cursive way so that it is clear that the keywords or the data types you're writing are in small case. And then this is vowels. So this, and since it is mentioned that they are in capital letters, you can just give capital vowels like this. Okay, here these are character constants, therefore they are enclosed within single quotes. Fine. So this is an answer for that. Now coming to the E bit, check if an element at column 5 of an array A or row 5 of an array A, the array size is greater than 5. So check if an element at column oblique row 5 of an array is divisible by 2. Right? So here we have to check. When we say check, then it will be a condition. You have to write if. If is for checking. And since all the array elements are stored in contiguous rows or columns, therefore it is given column or row. It will be continuous. Fine. So what will be the index of element at row 5? Yes, it is 4. So how will you refer the element at row 5? It will be A of 4. And you have to check whether this element is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2 or not. So you have to write is equal to 0. If the element is divisible by 2, the remainder will be 0. So whatever this returns, you compare with 0. Fine. So this will be the appropriate answer for question E. And now let's go to question G. Print first element of an array A. Yeah, it is simple. Whenever they say print, make sure you write system dot out dot print ln or print first element. How do you refer first element of the array? A of 0, right? Simple. So when they say print, see, this may carry 2 marks, one for print statement and one for referring the correct element. So, and do not use short forms like SOPLN and that. In exam, they're very strict in correcting section A. The cases are considered very seriously. So make sure you put everything in correct case. Here S is capital because it is the name of a class. So all class names begin with capital letters as per conventions, and is out and print, they are all in small case. Okay. Now coming to H bit, print last element of the array A. Now you don't know how many elements are there, but still you can get the first index and the last index of any array A in terms of its length. Okay, so here also they're asking you to print. So therefore this SOP will be same. Here you're referring to the last element. So A of, what is the index of last element? It is A dot length, A dot length minus 1. Once again, this is the array, so we don't use the bracket there. It is like this. Now A dot length minus 1 refers to the last index of any array A. Here we are using the length property of the array, which gives you number of elements in an array. So A dot length minus 1 will be the last index, and A of that gives you the element at last index. And since they're asking you to print, you have to put that within SOPLN like this. Print size of the array. So again, you will have system.out.println. And what is the array size? How do you get array size? Yes, using the length property, A dot length. Okay, make sure that you know the difference between length property and the length function. Length property is used with arrays to get number of elements or the array size, you can say. And the length function, which is denoted by this, is used with string to get the number of characters present in the string. Okay, so so that's all with the first exercise. So you have to be very careful. It's very simple, but then I wanted to do it in front of you so that you can see the minor things, the putting commas, the single quotes, double quotes, semicolons, square brackets, all these things keep in mind and remember. Okay. So I hope you all understood this. It was quite simple exercise. Now let's move to the next part. Yeah, you can also, okay, let's revise this. Differentiate. Now, this year, I don't think you will get questions of this type, the differentiate and all, but to have subject clarity, you should know all these differences. Yes, differentiate variable and an array. Yes, a variable, for example, this is a variable, right? A variable is used to store a single value, whereas this is an array variable used for storing multiple values of same data type, right? So you can just give an example and explain it through example in case you do not like the definition part and all. You can always explain through self-explanatory simple examples, right? This is a variable and this is a array. Then comes subscript and subscripted variable. Again, subscript and subscripted variable, they look very much similar, but they are different. The subscript is same as your index. Subscript and index both refer to the indices we use in arrays, which start with 0 and end at L-1, right? Those are the subscript or index value. And subscripted variable refers to the array name we use for storing the elements. So here A is a subscripted variable, and 0, 1, 2, these are the subscript or the index part. Subscript is also known as index. Okay. Then searching and sorting. Yeah, searching is identifying a particular element in the array, and sorting is arranging elements of the array in order. Searching is of two types, linear search and binary search, which we just finished. And sorting is again of two types, bubble sort and selection sort. But then this year you have only bubble sort in your syllabus. So just remember the basic difference. Searching is identifying a particular element in the list of array, and sorting is arranging elements in order. Got it? And then comes linear and binary difference. Since you have done it practically, you know the difference also, right? But then in exam, suppose if it is asked, you draw it in a table form like this and answer to the point. Unnecessary, do not write elaborate definitions and explanations. Try to give very clear, concise, to the point answers. And wherever these examples are applicable, just give self-explanatory example. Yeah, so linear search and binary search, yes, the very first difference. Linear search can be applied on any array. Binary search can be applied only on sorted array. The array must be either in ascending order or descending order. Then only binary can be applied. It's a very important difference. And second one is searching process becomes slow for an array of large size as each element gets checked. Yes. Whereas binary search, here this is faster as most of the elements are skipped during the process. You know, this binary search divides array into two parts. Then again, this array is divided into two parts. So likewise, many of the elements are skipped from searching, and hence binary search is faster compared to linear search. Okay, so these are some of the main questions of your array chapter. So hope you have benefited few points from today's class. That's all. So with this, we'll end today's class. Keep revising. Okay, children, with this, we stop today's class here. Thank you, everyone.